In 1932, Ruth Etting begins the Chesterfield Radio series. It is on the air for a year and 15 weeks. She alternates nights with Bing Crosby and the Boswell sisters.
For some reason, I don't know whether it was Merle whether it was Ruth or whether, I don't think it was Snyder, because I don't think he would have known enough, but maybe it was the recording people. But they always had people like Joe Venuti and jazz musicians who were on her records, and which helped them now, today. On the Biograph record that came out, they started in 1926, and you hear her singing in this little, piping little girl voice. And then not only did the tone, now she's lost all the high tones in her voice. She can't sing at all. But not only did she lose the high tones in her voice, but even before that, her voice deepened as she became a more mature person. And you see that. I thought it was a very interesting thing the guy did with the record, to take them and place them in that way. And you see the development of an artist, and how at first she sings the lyrics and they really don't mean anything. She's just singing. And then she begins to phrase and to interpret everything, and it becomes terribly interesting.
1933 finds Ruth Etting on the Chase and Sanborn Hour with Jimmy Durante and Rubinoff and his violin. Sundays at 8 p.m. in the East on the CBS Coast to Coast network. She makes 2 films in Hollywood, Roman Scandals and Hip Hips Hooray.
We're due for a little journey tonight. Let's assume we're standing on the Radio Pictures movie lot just outside the great sound stage on which they are filming Hips, Hips, Hooray. We hear from within a beautiful voice, just finishing a song.
They love to be told they're first on the list. They're never too old to be cuddled and kissed. Whatever you do, keep romance alive.
Come on now. Never mind. I hear. Say, just send word to Ruth Etting that Jimmy Fiddler is here to see her.
Jimmy Fiddler? Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Miss Etting is expecting you.
Hello, Jimmy Fiddler. You're late.
Yeah, always the late Mr. Fiddler. The gateman didn't want to let me in.
How'd you persuade him?
I fixed him. I told him my name was Walter Winchell. After that, he wanted to sell me his diary. Gee, what a beautiful set. Is this for Hip Hip Hooray?
Yes, and I'm having a grand time making this picture. Bert Wheeler and Bob Woolsey keep us laughing every minute.
But I really came here to talk about Ruth Etting.
My, what a dull subject.
50 million Americans can't be wrong. By the way, Bing Crosby, yep, the old crooner in person, told me that he thinks you're the biggest woman on the air.
Really? Why, I only weigh 110 pounds.
No. He doesn't mean big in pounds. He means you're the most popular woman in radio.
If Bing were here, I'd give him a big kiss.
Well, I delivered the message, Ruth.
I only tip messenger boys, Jimmy, so here's a handshake for you.
Well, that's better than nothing.
Hold me, honey, won't you hold me? Hold me, never let me go. Take me, honey, won't you take me? Never to forsake me. good to you. You've got me crying again, just crying for you.
In 1934, Ruth Etting makes the Universal film Gift of Gab, and she appears on the CBS network in the Oldsmobile Hour with announcer Ted Husing and Johnny Green's orchestra. That series runs for 13 weeks, Tuesdays and Fridays. In 1935, more radio with bandleader Red Nichols on the Kellogg College Prom. This series runs into 1936. Also in 1935, on radio, this broadcast.
The National Mobilization for Human Needs, organized to assist welfare agencies in more than 400 cities throughout the United States, has the privilege to present on this program one of the outstanding stars of radio, stage, and screen, Ruth Etting, better known as America's singing sweetheart, with one of the leading exponents of modern dance music, Al Lyons, and his brilliant new Coconut Grove Orchestra. And now we hear charming Ruth Etting in that popular melody, Look in the Mirror.
Look in the mirror, and you'll know why you're the only one for me. Look in the mirror, give yourself a kiss for me. Look in the mirror, mirrors don't lie. You're the sugar in my tea. Sweeter than sweetness, you're the honey from the bee. You're a breath of spring, you've got everything. You're my romance from above. From your head to your toes, everybody knows I love you. Indeed I do. Look in the mirror, and you'll know why you're the only one for me. Look in the mirror, give yourself a kiss for me.
And in 1935, Hollywood opens its new NBC radio studios. Ruth Etting obliges from Hawaii.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going over to Honolulu to hear a voice that I love, and I know that you do too. Yes, sir, Ruth Etting is waiting over there among the sea breezes and the palm trees to sing to us. Ruth Etting, the girl who rose to fame and affection in the Ziegfeld Follies, who found a newer and broader audience with the radio, and now combines her time between motion pictures and her first love, radio. Ruth Etting will sing Hawaiian Paradise. So I'm going to press this little button, and we'll take you now to Honolulu.
We greet you, Hollywood NBC, from KGU, Honolulu, Hawaii, the mid-Pacific station of the National Broadcasting Company's great network. One of NBC's own stars, Ruth Etting, will sing Hawaiian Paradise, accompanied by the composer Harry Owens with his Royal Hawaiian Hotel Orchestra.
Hawaiian paradise, Hawaiian heaven, land of make-believe, come true. Please take me to your heart, Hawaiian heaven, never more to part from you.
In June 1936, it's the Magic Key for RCA broadcast.
You, oh, gee, but you're wonderful, you, lovely, you completely satisfy. I'm confessing that is why there's nobody like you. So much depends upon you. Tell me true. Will it be my fate at all? Will I ever praises for. Let me sing out praises for nobody but you.
Summer and early fall, Ruth is in London in 1936 for the stage show Transatlantic Rhythm. While there, she makes these recordings.
Take my heart, I'll never ask what you've done with it. Go on, have fun with it. Take it and leave it at ease. And do with it what you by my song of love, it is all I own. Must it live unknown? Every single word is a part of me. Every single note, the heart of me. With a heart still young, must my song be sung to the stars above? I know somewhere there is someone to reply, someone who'll buy my song of love. Just a holiday, sweetheart, just for 2 weeks in September, and all of the year to remember, someone I've got to forget. You, oh gee, but you're lovely, you. Let me think of phrases for, let me sing out phrases for nobody but you. It's love again. It's love again. I'll shout it from the housetops up above again. That state of sweet inanity that borders on insanity. It's love again. I feel the urge again to merge again, and melodies of love within me surge again. So if I choose to rest my chin with passion on a violin, it's love again, love again, love again. Be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. Millions of hearts have been broken just because these words were spoken. I love you, yes I do, I love you. If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie.
In 1939, Ruth and husband Merle Alderman are planning to return to London for a tour, but they cancel plans when World War II breaks out. Merle serves his country overseas. The plane in which he is flying is shot down, and he is hospitalized. Ruth is living in Colorado Springs at this time. In 1946, she makes a radio comeback on the Rudy Valley Hour and keeps an engagement at New York's Copacabana. With her husband, Merle, she does a series for WHN New York 5 nights a week.
Good evening, all. Yes, you're right. That melody means it's Ruth Etting time.
So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal.
And here she is, our lovely lady of song, Miss Ruth Etting.
Hello, John. Happy Friday the 13th.
The same to you, Ruth. Are you superstitious?
No, but Merle is. Aren't you, Pop?
Well, boy, I've got a reason to be.
How come, Mr. A?
Well, this morning I woke up at 7. I had $7 in my pocket. There were 7 horses in my favorite race, so I picked the 7th.
Gee, Merle, did he win?
He sure did.
You were supposed to say no. He came in 7th.
Yeah, I know, but it's more fun this way.
Oh, Merle Alderman, just for that, I'm going to sing a song.
You see, John, this is our lucky day.
All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. Oh, how can I go on, dear, without you? You took a part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me?
Then in 1954, Hollywood does the Ruth Etting story starring Doris Day and James Cagney. The film is called Love Me or Leave Me. Cagney plays the part of her first husband, whom she married in 1922 and who was jailed in 1938 after shooting Merle Alderman in a fit of jealousy. Ruth says she didn't like the film.
The film that Doris Day made, supposedly about your life, was not a very accurate...
No. It was an awful lot of fairy tale in that. Because I didn't... they had me working with Merle, my husband, you know. They had me working with him really in the early days, and of course I never knew him at all. And then they had me drinking, which I never did.
Right.
And of course Doris was too big. They had her playing it real hard-boiled, which wasn't her fault. You know, that's the way she had to take direction, I expect.
Yes.
But I wouldn't have picked her at all.
Who do you think would have been your choice?
Let me see. I'm trying to think of her name. Darling little girl, and looked like I did when I was very young. She had a different voice. She was more of a soprano. She begged to have them let her do it, but Doris was just starting, and I guess they got her cheap. I don't know. I can't think of her name. I have a memory like a sieve.
I think you did very, very well.
She's had a lot of illness, and this is another thing, is that she has total bravery. She had cancer, and people said, oh, my God, cancer. And she said, well, why go to pieces about it? She said, you know, you've got to die of something. And I'm a fatalist. If I'm meant to get well, I'll get well. And she did get well. She recovered from that. And then she had to have the veins stripped in her legs. And she said to the doctor, what would happen if I don't? And he said, you'll get gangrene and die. And so she said, all right, I'll have the operation. And she had it. And then she had a perforated ulcer. And she got down to 90 pounds, but now she's back up to 100. And you never hear any complaint from her. She's like Cole Porter in that sense. You say to her, how are you? She says, wonderful, and no matter what she's feeling.
Author Ben Gross, the dean of radio columnists for the New York Daily News, told me about Ruth Etting's years with Moe Snyder.
Well, now, Ruth Etting was a charming girl, really, a great talent. But she was hampered by the fact that she was tied up with this...
Moe.
That's right, the Gimp.
The Gimp.
That's right. And the Gimp was so jealous, he wouldn't let her out of his sight. That he just simply, she was like a bird, like a captured bird. She couldn't do anything without the Gimp, you see.
I think she was frightened of him, too.
And she was frightened of him because he was, people had an idea that he was a killer, that he would kill you, you see. And that one of my best friends is a girl who was one of her best friends by the name of Julia Charvel, a famous newspaper woman who at that time was the television and radio editor of the Old Graphic, and then later became a big political writer by the name of Julia Charvel.
I'll tell her that.
And she always talks about Ruth Etting.
Have you seen Julia recently?
Yes. And Julia often talks about her, what a wonderful person Ruth Etting was.
Ruth Etting's husband, Merle Alderman, dies in 1966. She leaves the big home for an apartment.
I want to meander in the meadow, see the sunbeams kissing the dew. I want to meander in the meadow with the birds and flowers I knew.
And when I first went to see her, I said, one of the first things I said to her was, you were always publicized. What was it? You were and I'd forgotten. And she said, oh, I don't know. What was it? The Sweetheart of Columbia Records or something like that. She brushed it all aside.
I want to meet someone in the meadow when the shadows start to fall. We used to meander in the meadow. It's the sweetest memory of all.
I've known, having been the entertainment editor, at Look, and had the opportunity to know people in show business over a period of 30 years, and even earlier than that, I think she is possibly one of the most admirable people I ever met. And it's so interesting because I went there expecting to find this tough-talking girl who just happened to be able to sing. And somehow she'd picked her way through the cesspool and just emerged unscathed.
I can remember in the meadow when we found a nest full of bees. Oh, did they sting? I declare they stung us here and they stung us there.
During the past hour, we've told you something about one of radio's first ladies, Ruth Etting, by giving you her words and the thoughts of biographer George Eales. With her songs and her radio programs, you've come to know a little more about this woman who lost her mother when she was 5 years old, lived with grandparents, and went on to become successful on radio, motion pictures, the stage, and recordings. When I asked her how she did it, she replied, I guess I was just a dumb farm girl.
Just one day.
Our tribute to Ruth Etting was the product of one full year of research as we studied in Washington at the Broadcast Pioneers Library and in New York at the Lincoln Center Library for the Performing Arts. Our thanks go to several collectors, chief among them Austin Morrison of Proctor, Vermont, and Dr. Lawrence Cass, University of Michigan. To author George Eales, whose book Ginger, Loretta, and Irene includes a chapter on Ruth Etting. To the National Endowment for the Arts for supporting Keene, New Hampshire State College with matching funds to pursue our studies. On behalf of all who helped us and our technician, Leonard Goodnow, this is Lou Dumont.
It isn't the paddle, it's not the canoe. It isn't the river or skies that are blue. It isn't the love dreams that bring joy to you. It's the girl, it's the girl. And it isn't the brooklet that you wander to. It isn't the mountains, the flowers or dew. It isn't the love nest that brings love to you. It's the girl, it's the girl.